I'm a Nikon D750 shooter, and I just recently purchased the Nikon Z6 and wanted to give you my first impressions of the camera. First of all, this camera feels very light in hand. It feels substantial. I have the FTZ adapter on it together with a Nikon 50mm lens. One of the things that you notice is the fact that not only is the camera light, but most of the buttons have been positioned in such a way that you can operate this camera single-handedly. The ISO button is on top, the shutter button on top as well. The controls, as you would find on a D750, back control, front control are there, but pressing the ISO button on top, I can basically change my ISO on the fly using one hand. I can also switch the mode or status from video to still photography just by the flick of a button using my thumb. I can pop up the quick menu, which is completely customizable and also can be used via touchscreen. And that customizability of this menu is really an incredible feature that I think really takes this well beyond my expectations in terms of customizability. I can also now point and focus. I can essentially use the touchscreen in order to focus the camera. So I can use the touchscreen to point to an object, and when I have the area focus on, I can use that area that I touch to keep that subject in focus, so I can move the camera around and focus will be maintained. Again, the touchscreen is something new for us D750 users, and I think that it's going to be quite an exciting way of using the camera and extending our ability to rack focus and to also maintain focus, which the Nikon D750 had a hard time doing. The camera is very light feel, but again very substantial, and first impressions so far are really very, very good. The follow focus and the fact that the camera will stay on target is actually quite impressive. Let's compare this to the D750. Here you can see I'm shooting this with the Nikon Z6, the ISO set to auto. I'm taking a look here at my D750, and if you one thing to notice, yes, it has the flip out screen, but the other thing to notice is that the controls are set up in such a way that it really demands that you have two-handed operation. The ISO control is on the left side. If you want to monitor or change that, you have to essentially use one hand and the control knobs that are on the right side. So the D750 is set up so that it is definitely a two-handed camera, and it is much larger because of the fact that it has to accommodate the mirror and the viewfinder. The quick menu is not customizable, so that as you look through the quick menu, it's not a touch screen, it's not customizable. Of course, the Nikon menus are familiar, but the Z6 is a very, very nice upgrade on what I've come to expect as a good camera like in the D750.